Stick around until the end of the video for details on the Q&A. Welcome back to the Haddonfield Registry. I'm your host, Mr. October, aka Slasher with an X. I'm putting this video out to celebrate multiple things. For starters, we just got our first YouTube channel member yesterday on the 11th, so coupled with Patreon, we're at 4 paid backers now. That's pretty big for me, I can't lie. On top of that, we just hit 3,000 subscribers, which is also pretty big for me, I can't lie. So I figured I'd give another channel update. First, I'm sorry my upload schedule got all fucked up last year. You may or may not have heard, but I got fired from my job. Company buyout, new CEO was an idiot. You've heard this story a million times. I had Thanksgiving and Christmas videos planned out that I had to postpone, including a slasher collective on John Carver from Thanksgiving. This kind of works in my favor since Thanksgiving 2 is likely to be released this year, but still, I was pretty annoyed. Second, let's discuss what is coming out. This month, the 11th Hour 4. This will cover Revenge of Michael Myers and both cuts of Curse of Michael Myers. This won't include the Chaos Comics Halloween trilogy, however. Just like with Under the Lake, the comics will receive their own episode. And once this episode is out, I'll work on updating Part 1 to match the style of the other 3 and stitch them together into one Thorn timeline video that you can spend a week falling asleep to. 10 facts about every Halloween you probably didn't know, Part 1, covering Halloween 1 and 2. Beyond that, here are the videos I'm nearly done scripting. The Slasher Collective Episode 2. It's not John Carver, but I'm still not spoiling the surprise just yet. I'll give you 3 hints though. He's modern, he's quiet, and he only has 1 film so far. War of the Dark Hearts, Building the Ultimate Slasherverse, Part 1. I hope I've marketed this project correctly. This won't be me mapping out all of the connections between existing slasher franchises. While I do plan to tackle that at some point, what I'm referring to here is me creating a slasherverse from the ground up, where I reboot several existing slasher franchises with a shared universe in mind. The type of thing you would only find in the pages of a comic book, though rest assured I try very hard to take the project seriously and avoid making a mess of cliches and overused tropes. Once the 11th Hour 4 drops, I'll be taking a break from Halloween specifically and move on to something smaller that won't require multiple installments, most likely a Maniac Cop timeline, since I did a trilogy rewatch back in November and took a lot of notes, so it's still fresh in my mind. Plus, the novelizations were just released. And let me tell you, if you enjoy hearing me talk about random 80s slasher lore rabbit holes, you'll want to hear what I learned from those. Now, for those of you who've been begging for videos on Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or Scream, just want you to know, I hear you. I don't want you to feel ignored. It's just that I don't watch those films as often, so my knowledge is less encyclopedic. I'd have to do more research than normal. And to make matters worse, Fangoria took down their completely free magazine archive, which I referenced heavily in my videos, and are now planning to relaunch that same service behind a paywall, all in the name of preservation. So now my research stages may take longer than before. But I do have every intention of covering those films. I am still a big fan of all 3 franchises. Please be patient. Outside of my timeline and lore videos, I have some other projects you may be interested in. I've posted about it before, but I have a homemade TCG that I've been working on for a couple years now, titled Thorn TCG. It's a horror-themed trading card game with heavy emphasis on slashers and survivors, with the mechanics largely based around dueling. I'm working on a quick video for that where I explain the rules and look for feedback. You've probably guessed I'm an aspiring writer. Yes, I have the first 3 chapters of my unofficial Halloween web novel on the channel, but I also write original fiction and non-fiction. I'm currently working on expanding my script for Under the Lake into a full-blown manuscript, hoping to have it published through Harker Press when finished. I'm a big fan of Dustin McNeil, if you couldn't tell, so I'm hoping that pans out. As for original fiction, I'm currently working on a novel tentatively titled Flash Flood, which is a slasher novel set in a fictionalized version of Johnstown, Pennsylvania, here known as Langdon, which follows the daughter of the local police chief contending with a murderous, masked stranger newly arrived to town. As you can surmise from the synopsis, John Carpenter's Halloween acts as a heavy influence. Though this is just the premise, the end results are very different. I will probably also publish the first few chapters as an audiobook on the channel at some point. And that's pretty much where the channel currently stands. Now, As promised at the top of the video and in the title, we're planning a Q&A video to celebrate hitting 3K subscribers. Have a question and want it answered? Comment it down below this video before January 20th. Topics can be anything from the channel specifically to horror in general. I don't mind personal questions, just know I will ignore questions I don't want to answer. Again, thank you all for the support from this past year. My goal for 2026 is to turn this into a full-time job, and I can't do that without your support. So if you're watching but not yet subscribed, consider changing that. For the Haddonfield Registry, I'm Mr. October. Good night.